Raptor show powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, Will Lou. A reminder, we are back in the studio and streaming live once again on Sportsnet's YouTube channel, Monday to Friday between 2 and 3 p.m. To people watching, hello. I am joined by my producer and co-host, Alex Wong.
Yeah, so we've got Gary Trent Sr. on the line with us right now. Gary, how are you?
I'm great, man. How y'all doing?
Good, good. Thank you for making the time to join us. Listen, Gary, before we get into anything else, I wanted to give you a chance to respond to your former teammate, Alvin Williams, who you might have heard has been giving you a hard time on the broadcast. And I think he said that you showed up to Toronto when you were traded here from Portland in a sweatsuit and you never changed out of it. Is that true?
Well, here's the thing. See, Alvin has the platform and the nightly voice and the fans to follow him, but it's kind of, he was always, like a young fella, he always had a lot of admiration for me. So I can see why he would be mentioning me in the air in that fashion. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. I think I noticed too, you showed up to the arena in a fur coat. Was that something that you had from your time in Toronto many decades ago, or was that a new acquisition?
No. When you see me at the games looking fresh like that, them is all new, fresh pressed minks and furs. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. What is it like, Gary? I know you only spent a brief time, like you mentioned, here in Toronto, but what is it like coming back to Toronto? I know, obviously, the past week when you had a chance to watch Gary and the Raptors play, it was in front of a minimal number of fans. It was an empty arena. But what is it like, the experience for you coming back to watch a team that you once played for?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. Just like going to watch them play for the Blazers. It's so many people have changed places and are not in place at these organizations, from so many years ago. My biggest thing when I'm watching my son play is the happiness and joy that he plays with now. My son played with so much pain, and my son was so depressed and so down and so sad in Portland that watching him play actually used to hurt me.
Damn.
Because I knew my son wasn't feeling himself. He wasn't playing his game. He was under a lot of negative pressures from negative statements from front office people and lack of belief and things like that. So my son getting traded was the best thing for his spirit and for his career and just for his emotional, mental balance. When I come and visit my son now in Toronto, he's in a much happier place mentally and a spiritually happier place. He smiles more. He's looking forward to practice. He's looking forward to the games. And I see the love of the game and the love for the game blossoming within him again. Whereas when he was in Portland, he wasn't feeling that lively. And I don't know if you have children or not, but if you have a child and your child is sick or your child is not feeling well or something like that, as a parent, you can feel that. You can see that.
Wow. Gary, well, first off, thanks for sharing that. I'm very happy to hear that your son is in a happier place. And obviously, as Raptor fans, we're just seeing what we're seeing. And it's like, your son's having a career year and he looks like he's really coming into his own as a player. And I wanted to ask you, as his parent, like, what kind of training did you put your son through? Because I remember him, speaking with us briefly in training camp, and he talked about you guys would do this like wild exercise like on the track when he was at the age of 5. So can you take us through that training regimen that you sort of put him through, even from that very, very early age in life?
Well, when I was training my son early on, I always I knew he wouldn't be 7 feet tall or anything of that nature. So to me, I felt it was very important to have the essential guard skills of ball handling, shooting, and being able to guard people, because everybody has this thing where, I play this position, I play that position. No, you don't. In the game of basketball, you are what you can guard. If you can't guard a point guard, you can't play the point guard position. Don't tell me that you can guard this guy, but you can't stay in front of him. When you play basketball, as kids, everybody matches up on the open gym court with, I'm going to guard somebody my size. You know how you as a kid, you just look at somebody your size and you do the matchups?
Yeah.
But that's not how it really works. You are what you can guard, and that's the bottom line in basketball. But, I felt as a child, my son, I asked him, do you want to play basketball or how do you feel about it and whatnot? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, and I just broke it down to him that if you're going to play basketball, this is what you have to put into it. And my son never wavered from that. I'm talking about, it's even in my younger son. So I don't know if it's just something in the DNA. Like when he got out of school every day, he'd be like, Dad, we going to the gym. Dad, we going to the gym. Wow. Dad, we going to the gym. It was, are we going to the gym or are we going to practice? We're going to the gym or are we going to practice? And, you can, many years, you can go back 20 years. Anybody in Columbus at Lifetime Fitness or anybody in Minnesota at Lifetime Fitness, you look on my Facebook, my son will call me on Friday nights. We'd be at the gym at 1 a.m. because he's like, Dad, I can't sleep. I was just watching NBA TV. I saw some moves I want to go work on. Now, there was a couple times I'm like, at the nightclub. Like when he started getting in high, listen.
Oh,
he
getting in
high
style,
school now because he's been working since he was little. I'm like, at the nightclub, I get a call. My son called me at like 12:30 in the morning. I'm like, something must be wrong. So I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up, son? He like, yeah, I'm just sitting here watching TV, man, watching NBA TV. Wanted to see where you was at. I'm like, oh, I'm out and about. He like, you want to go to the gym? I'm like, right now? I got bottles on the table and everything, right? So I'm like, you want to go to the gym right now? He like, yeah, I just was watching NBA TV and I wanted to work on some moves. Now, first thing I thought, I'm like, man, his mom put him up to this. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm like, okay, cool. Everything stops when my kids call. So, boom, right. I leave the bottles on the table. I leave the girls in the section. Just leave them there. Already been drinking, so I get in the Uber, go all the way home, go work my son out till about 3 a.m.
Wow.
So another week or two go by, and the same thing happened. And now I'm realizing, no, this ain't his mom. This is my son's spirit and mindset. So, as he got older and he got a better understanding for the game, and the more footage and film he watched, he just became more and more driven. If you look at my son's career, the biggest thing about my son's career that people probably don't pay attention to, and I think is very big, is my son is a winner.